The alliance between Russia and Iran is situational and shaky, experts are sure. The two diplomatic pariah states, which have already had numerous conflicts, are now forced to cooperate.
С момента уже российского вторжения в Украине
Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, since Iran is under European sanctions because of its nuclear program and Russia needs weapons, each of them began to take advantage of the other. As it became clear to Russia that it could not win this war in Ukraine and began to look for help, Iran immediately took advantage of Russia's weakness in exchange for drones for other things. And of course, getting the most out of Russia, concessions on the Syrian issue, concessions on the Armenian-Azerbaijani crisis, concessions on the nuclear program, concessions on many things in exchange for drones.
Imperial ambitions also unite Tehran and Moscow. The Kremlin dreams of recreating a Soviet Union, Iran, the Persian Empire. The two regimes have enough in common: violation of the civil rights of the population, usurpation of power, and repressions against their own citizens. Iran and Russia exchange experiences on how to suppress protests. Igor Krasnov, Prosecutor General of the Federation, visited Tehran. The goal is to exchange information on the fight against rallies and riots, and all this against the background of the second public execution of one of the protesters in Iran.
два диктаторские режимы
The two dictatorial regimes may have much in common. It is enough to draw a parallel between Hitler and Stalin. It would seem that they have completely different ideologies, but they are very close because these dictatorial regimes, they are comfortable working together. But each of them does not forget the past. Tehran does not forget that once the USSR occupied Iran, and the same thing in Russia. They do not forget that the Iranian regime is an Islamist radical regime, which in fact is not only anti-Western but also anti-Christian.
Cooperation between Iran and Russia allows the Federation to receive Shahed 136 kamikaze drones. Experts are sure that Moscow has already agreed with Tehran on the transfer of ballistic missiles. In turn, Iran will receive a batch of 24 Su-35 fighter jets. Russia is ready to partially disarm its own air fleet for the sake of strikes against the critical infrastructure of Ukraine.
Ballistic missiles, this is already, one might say, a thing of the past. Most likely, according to some reports, Russia will receive the first such missiles by the end of this year. This is a very serious danger, because one of the modifications of these Iranian missiles that will be delivered, it has a range of 700 kilometers, while the Russian Iskander has a range of 500 kilometers. And we need to understand that the supply of Iranian missiles is connected with the readiness of the United States to supply Patriot anti-aircraft missile systems, which are the only ones that are the basis of missile defense, not air defense, and which can shoot down these missiles.
Experts believe that the Kremlin should not count on long-term cooperation with Iran. After all, Tehran's position is shaky.
In fact, now they deliver what they have in stock. Everything will depend on foreign policy conditions. If Iran suddenly gets into trouble or is accidentally attacked by unknown Israeli aircraft, then they will be forced to reconsider their obligations to Russia and, roughly speaking, they will need these weapons themselves. Now they don't have such special problems, so they can quit effort to conduct such a deal, exchanging their missiles and drones for planes.
According to experts, the alliance between Moscow and Tehran is dangerous not only for Ukraine. Given the ambitions of the Iranian regime, the Middle East is under the threat of military expansion. Reported by Roman Smoler, Larisa Zubenko, UATV News.